Hi there, this is Tim, and in this video I'm going to unbox Wings from the Amiga. Now this Amiga version, it said that it needed 1 meg of RAM, which I always had in my Amiga 600, that it was hard drive installable, which I never did, and that a joystick was required, even though I never used a joystick. So I'm not really sure why it said it was required. I wonder if that affected their sales in any way. And I've got to go through the manual pretty extensively, and then at the end of this video I'm actually going to take you through the remastered edition, which was actually released to people who backed it on Kickstarter last night. I've had a quick playthrough and everything, and you know, when you compare it to these early graphics from the Amiga, that obviously if you want to read any of this, pause this video, read it, and then carry on playing. But you know, when you compare it to the early graphics, they've done a spectacular job, and yeah, I'll show you some of that at the end of this video. But first I'm going to carry on going through this Amiga box and manual. Obviously Cinemaware were one of the Amiga developers that had probably not very many titles, but the ones that they put out are considered absolute cult classics, you know, for kind of retro gamers. And Wings was one that it really hit home with me. It was one of the games that I really got into the storyline. You know, it was pretty good gameplay, really, but it was the storyline that really did it for me. There was kind of between each mission there would be your character writing a journal, and if you got kind of emotionally invested in your character within the game, that journal was just amazing to go through the war that way. This is the First World War, obviously. But anyway, let's look at the manual now. You can see, you know, they have an index of the photographs there. They have an amazing, you know, contents list, and this manual, it's honestly, it's one of the best manuals that I've ever seen for a game. It obviously talks about the Wright brothers, early flight, what actually started the First World War. That's Franz Ferdinand's bloodstained tunic, and you know, all of the political instability that was actually happening in Europe at that time. You know, then it's obviously talking about dogfighting, crashes, every aspect of early flight, really. It's very, very good. And obviously the reason for the war in the air was because of the war on the ground. And one of my relatives is actually buried in France, so I will actually be visiting his grave at some point. I'm hoping to, actually, the next time I'm in Europe. These maps here are quite nice because your character does get kind of moved around. You're sent for missions over different towns and things like that, but you also get moved around to different areas as well, so the maps are quite nice for that. You also obviously explained about weapons and things like that, different flight tactics, maneuvers, anti-aircraft fire as well, the different types of targets. It's quite interesting in this game because you don't only have planes to shoot down, you have balloons to shoot down, and balloons were used to kind of spy on enemy troops. Obviously, you know, if you sat up in a balloon, you can see the whole landscape, and you can obviously tell your side what the other side is doing. There's profiles for the different planes, lots of information on different pilots too, such as Baron von Richthofen. And it's interesting too. I remember when I was playing this game on the Amiga, I would get really kind of emotionally involved with the other members of the squadron as well. You know, I would try my best during missions to defend them so that they didn't get killed. And you know, when one gets killed, you obviously get a report about them being killed in action, and you know, was just a really powerful story, and I guess being able to replay it now, it is just fantastic for me. And really, you know, having seen it on Kickstarter and everything, there was no doubt in my mind that I wanted to back it, and I only backed it for $15. And I mean, 10 months later, I got this.
Looking around, and it suddenly got complicated. There were 3 Fokkers below us, and they wanted a fight. We'd see that they got one.
So there we go, that introduction voice is obviously new, that wasn't on the Amiga, and I really like that they've added that. The same voice also reads over the journal to you as well, so I think it'll be a bit more involving because of that, especially if he's a good voice actor, which I don't really know yet. I've only heard him say certain stories, and it's not really gritty in the early stages like it is in the latter stages, the story, so we'll see how that works. But here you can see this is the main gameplay. You are kind of in the cockpit here, and you know, you can see some the pilot's head move there, and that's basically to tell you where there's a target. So if you disable the kind of circle around enemy planes, then the arrows telling you where they are, the pilot's head will still tell you exactly like it did on the Amiga version. You'll see this is wintertime too, and they do actually simulate a few different seasons, and basically that's the main gameplay type, but there are different mission types which I'll show you in a moment. This is Colonel Farah. You'll obviously get involved with him during the story, and but the main thing for me, like I said, it was the journal, and let's just read one of those through to you right now.
Not looking forward to this morning's patrol. We're headed southeast of Verdun to the German aerodrome at Metz. Farah wants to let the Germans know they don't have free rein to cross our lines. Meanwhile, he's making it clear we'll cross theirs at any time we please. Nothing Farah likes more than a friendly double standard.
So there you go. So this is another gameplay type. It's called strafing, and basically just have to hit certain targets that you've been told to, and obviously avoid other targets. You can see there's a hospital ship there, van there with a red cross on it that you obviously are supposed to avoid. And you can see you've got to get the infantry, the fuel trucks that are in this convoy here, and blow those up. It's quite interesting because there can be certain times when you're good at a certain type of gameplay and then really bad at a different one. Now this is bombing too, so you have to use your shadow to aim the bomb and obviously drop it at the right time. But you'll also have planes to shoot at in this view as well. And yes, you can die. And it's not pretty. like I said, this is a gritty game. You hear the journals and you hear the despair of the character that you're playing a lot, and that's why it was so involving for me. And the deeper it got into the story, the more involving it actually became. You know, and you'll see casualties listed, and you see your funeral and everything like that. And it's a fantastic game. It's going to be released on Steam very soon, I think a week from now. So I would highly recommend picking it up. It's a fantastic game, and it completely does the Amiga version justice, completely. Thanks, bye.